basically KPG is an accounting company, and they've basically been a serial acquirer of other small accounting firms. And I guess they're in sort of a non-growing, so this is an Australian business on the ASX. So if you search KPG.AX stock, it should come up, Jack, if you're hunting for it.
Yeah, I got it.
So yeah, they're managed by, I think it's Brett Kelly, which is where the name comes from. And he's like a super Warren Buffett nerd. So he talks about, the intrinsic value of KPG on his calls, and I'd buy back stock, at a certain discount to intrinsic value and all the stuff, which is pretty cool. And they're basically acquiring accounting businesses and centralizing a lot of their admin to try and, increase their efficiency to have more billable hours and so on. And they've had a pretty good runway of something like, Frank can correct me in the comments here, but something like 30% compounded growth for the last decade or so. And he thinks they've got a pretty long runway to continue doing that, essentially. That's basically the thesis for KPG.
I see Brett Kelly owns over half of the outstanding shares, and it's only a 74 million market cap company.
Yeah, very small cap company. And I think Brett Kelly's also written a few books and has a podcast on, there you go, 34% growth since 2007, Frank's saying.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also has a podcast where he talks about, his thoughts on growing businesses and that sort of thing too. So yeah, definitely strong kind of founder-owned thing. I guess the big question is just how long is that growth runway, which I think Frank's also done some pretty good work on, and he's convinced it's quite a long runway still to go. So
I think it's Frank's largest holding, isn't it?
I believe so. I think he's had about a double in it though, so it may have grown to that.
Yeah, what was your percentage at cost, Frank?
Yeah.
Give him a second.
There you go. Yeah, that's the other thing. So Frank's just put a comment, acquires businesses at 4 times EBITDA. So yeah, there's I'm completely forgetting completely blanking on the name of the company here, but there's another business, 35% of the portfolio. There's another business in the States which kind of does something similar, not with accounting firms, but they acquire, I think software. Yeah, I'll have the example wrong, but the idea is they're acquiring businesses privately for 4 times whatever earnings proxy you want to use, and then they're getting valued at the time when I looked at it last year at like 40 times earnings in the market. So they're almost like arbitraging like 10x this private market, and they're just like running this over and over again and continuing to do really well. So I think there's an element of that potentially with KPG as well. But the other thing KPG are doing are actually, like I say, centralizing like some of the admin of the business and actually improving the EBIT or the earnings or whatever of what you want to call it of those companies. So they're kind of getting like a 2-prong boost. They're getting that multiple expansion from the public market versus the private market, but they're also growing the earnings of each of those individual businesses that they're acquiring, and that's makes some fairly exponential growth tend to happen as well. So.